Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the special meeting of the Otero County Commission on Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. I'd like to call this meeting to order and have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Markworth?
Here.
Commissioner Matherly?
Here.
Commissioner Barilla?
Here.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. New business, special meeting to certify the canvass of the 2023 regular local election. Robin, take the floor.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the commission.
Good morning.
We are here because of the statute that requires that you all sign the certification of the election. You all have the numbers, I believe. They were all given to you. Do you have any questions about anything at this time?
Are there any recounts?
We will not know that until the 28th. They have an independent auditing company that they hire, the state does, and they go through all of the canvases for the whole state, and they will determine which counties do have the automatic recount or audits.
It looks like Tularosa School Board might have one. Is that?
It could be.
Yeah. How many positions were there on the school board? Was there 2 or 3?
I believe 3. We had so many different.
3. And 3 got 17% and 1 got 16%. So does that constitute?
It would be the
recount?
bottom person, yes, with the next person. So,
Okay.
and again, it will depend on what the auditor determines.
Is that set by, that's because they merged with the state elections? It's not set by their charters or anything like that? It's superseded by joining into the elections, right?
Yes, through the election code would determine that.
Okay.
Robin, on page 5, there's 3 candidates on here and they got no votes, period?
They were, we didn't actually
votes?
have, we didn't have anybody in our county that was in that district.
Oh, okay, that's why there was nothing.
Nobody lived in that district and was registered to vote that was there. So we didn't have anybody voting there.
Oh,
And
okay.
the
It was divided
candidates-
amongst other counties as well.
Yeah, the candidates actually live in Eddy County.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I know you got the emails. Oro Grande and Seneca, the error on the envelopes for the return addresses.
Well, and I guess you could call it an error. We've always been very spoiled that our printer usually puts the return address. It's actually on the envelope that's sent out to them, and when you mail something out, you know if there's not an address, you need to fill the address out. So our printer did not put that on there, and so when we mailed them out, we failed to see that. But the majority of all the people did put it there. There were a few that were caught by the post office that we had a call from them. We've talked to our printer about it. All my staff knows about it. So I don't know that it, I mean, we had, let's see, we sent out 783 ballots, and we had all except 193 returned.
I looked at those, I looked at the Oro Grande and the Seneca precincts for the 2021 election just to see comparatively, but I couldn't find the data for this election yet.
Right.
So we had 89 absentees mailed in 2021. Do we know how many absentees from those districts or precincts were?
We could do a count. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But, you know, also when we mail out those ballots, they have the option to come in and not vote those ballots, but they can vote at any voting convenience center or early voting, and I believe we had a lot of them that did that.
Oh, okay, good, good. Is there, so eventually we'll be able to look to see how
many people voted in each one of the precincts,
to
yes.
see if that address was affected or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And you got it fixed for the
Yes, and actually, they didn't have any school board, they didn't have any candidates per se on there. So the only one they had was the soil and conservation, I believe, and there were 3 people running, and there were 3 positions open, so they all were
Yeah.
voted
Vote
in.
back in.
That's on
Yeah.
the Mesa folks?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
what I
mean-
was fixing to,
Yes, I got that email from John Alou, and we had actually looked at it the week prior, because Ennis Lewis had come in, and we re-verified everything, and Cienega did not have any school board candidates, because they were in District 2, so they had voted on them 2 years ago, and it's a 4-year term.
I didn't realize that district line went down like that until I started looking at why she didn't have a school board member. I just assumed it'd be Shannon that would, and Jewel that would have been on the ballot right there. But yeah, that was Angie's, right? District, yeah. No idea. Then the next question, I couldn't find the new law in the election code that allows felons to register to vote. I couldn't find the policy of how to handle when a first-time registrant is a felon. Because the different counties are doing different things, so where's the actual policy of when you register a voter that is a felon?
Yeah, we would have to pull it up, but basically, they have to register in person, is basically what, and that was, what they said was that, obviously, if they're out and about and they can come in and register, then they're not in jail, so they have satisfied their term. That was what their whole,
Right. I just, like Bernalillo County, all the registrars could vote, to register felons, but Otero County, we couldn't. So I was trying to find the
well,
consistency.
they're supposed to be, yes, they're supposed to be, and that's just new law.
Right.
So we'll work on that, and I'm sure we'll discuss it at our next NMC conference in January.
Good.
The processes that need to be followed. But a lot of times, laws will pass, and, at that time, we're trying to figure out how to work it all out, and at some point,
Yeah.
we'll visit about it, and Secretary of State will set a policy or procedure for it.
I advocate for felons to be able to vote once they're obviously out, and I think it's a good thing.
Well, and we've always done it, and the problem in the past was that, so our system is hooked up with the courts as well. So when we would go to enter a voter registration, if they had had a felon at one time, sometimes they didn't even have a felon. They were just charged, but never, they were never accused or whatever. It was never charged where they had to go to jail or whatever. But what we had to do is we had to get or they had to get it for us and bring it to us, a paper from their probation officer that said that they had satisfied it. Well, sometimes these were like 20 years ago that this happened, and they don't even know who their probation officer was or where they live, so that's why they changed this law.
Commissioner Barella, it's 1-4-27.1.
1-4.
Right.
Dash 27.1.
What am I doing? Why are you asking me?
Does that have the procedures, though?
It says that as the clerk just stated, that they have to appear personally before the county clerk, clerk's authorized representative, precinct board member, in office of the MVD. Yeah, and essentially that if they're out, if they're not confined, if they're out walking around, they are eligible. Yeah.
So, the same as anybody registering to vote, is how I read that. If you can do it at MVD and all of that.
As long as they appear in person.
Correct, that's what it seems to say.
So in prayer in person in front of voter registrar.
Yes.
Same-day voter registration was at polling locations. So they did that. We had a couple.
Yeah, and voter registrar is the same thing as motor vehicle
Third party,
registering.
yeah.
And so they could have been eligible just by being registered.
I think actually when they come, as long as they are in person.
If I'm not correct, I think it has to be a state agency that provides services for disability. So we were thinking it either has to be our office, that's
Or
why
this-
MPD is, because it's a state agency. So third parties don't fall under the criteria for that law,
Okay,
because it spells it out. These are the people that can register.
Yeah.
And now one last thing. I don't know where you found Selena. She is a jewel of this county. She works her fanny off.
Absolutely.
Anywhere you see her, she is at it. And I'm afraid we're overworking her. You know, but
She's a workaholic.
she's a bad little lady.
She is a jewel,
Yeah,
let me
so-
tell you.
I just
Were
wanna-
so blessed when we found
Mhm.
her, and she's
Yep.
like a sponge.
Yep, yep,
She just takes in everything, and
yep,
I'm telling you, Otero County is very lucky to have
Yep.
Selena Mays.
yep, yep.
You guys are making me blush.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Okay, one more.
What are we doing? Is there a way that we can have like a mobile voting at the fire station on Walker Road, or start, maybe trying to have a polling location eventually at the fire station on Walker Road, just to try and get that precinct area voter turnout up?
We actually have looked at numbers before, and the number of people that are registered to vote out there, it's not a large number. And I'm trying to think, what else did we?
And we set the polling places already. So,
Well, yeah, but she's saying eventually.
For next year?
Well,
or-
we can't for next year because those polling places are already set.
Okay.
they're already.
So
Okay.
then after that, you're gonna have to talk to somebody else.
'Cause you're gonna be
Maybe
gone.
Selena.
Yeah.
Selena.
One more thing.
We actually did look at that and the number of registered voters, the number of people that voted, and, and we understand. But then if we do it there, then we have to go out to Dunnigan, and then we have to go out and do mobile voting. We're the second largest county in the state by area, so it's huge. So we barely get out to, the outlying areas. So if we go out to Walker, then we've got to go, to Dunnigan, and then we have to go to Tiburon, and then we have to go to Weed. It just goes on and on and on. Kind of the way we thought about it is the people that are out in Walker, it's not that far to come into town. Whenever they go to Walmart, they're right there, by the Civic Center. When they go to doctor's appointments, go to grocery stores, it's not like they're 20 miles away.
Right.
So that was kind of our way of thinking at the time.
Okay.
But like I said, it may change in a year or so. I
Well,
don't
we
know.
did good. It was 10% voter turnout in 2021? Is that
15,
15, and then we got
17,
19.
almost 18.
Okay, so it's good.
yes. There were so many people on the ballot. It was really wonderful that we had so many people
That was-
that signed up and really wanted to be something, wanted to help out our community.
If this is any indication how busy you're going to be in 2024, get ready.
Oh, we know. Yeah, we're already preparing. It's always very, very
Yeah.
busy.
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we had that many people turn out, but I'm still really sad that more people don't turn out. If you're a professional baseball player, you'd be cut big time if that was your percentage. You wouldn't be on the team. So,
Right? No, you're
it's
absolutely-
Like, get out and freaking vote, people.
And and it's like a production, what our office and our staff and all the people we hire and all the policies and procedures we have to still do just for that few, number of voters. It's so sad,
It is sad. Gotta get them out there.
right?
All right, any more questions? No? All right,
One other.
one more.
There was, John and Lou also had some issues with addresses out there on the Mesa.
It was the same thing, that
You-
she said she didn't have a return address on there. And I said, well, John, usually if you know where you're going to mail it, you just write the name and the address. She said, well, we never had to do that before.
Okay, so you
And
got
I
that?
said, well, we've taken care of it.
Okay.
Anything else? All right.
Wait, no, just kidding.
All right, I make a motion to certify the canvass of the 2023 regular local election.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right, thank you,
Thank you,
ladies.
commissioners. I have some papers for you to sign.
All righty.
There's so many different entities, I'll just let you guys all start
Share,
signing.
yeah.
That we need all these signed to send to everybody.
Yep, send me the PowerPoints. Okay.
I got the big stack.
Pens, Diane.
I got more.
I got one. My favorite pen is tragic. There.
More?
Right?
I need a shorter freaking name.
This was the first time I wasn't here for an election, I don't think in ever. Because John Paul surgery was the 7th. It was, when they made that appointment, like, no.
Right.
They said, take it or leave it. Well, okay.
Do you think you can try it by yourself?
Right. When I had my motor vehicle express office, and I had to sign my name 3,000 times a day, how my signature got shorter.
I was wondering. Okay. Did you get all yours?
I think so.
You check those?
Yeah, those are all.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll move on to number 2, request approval of a joint letter to New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham from Alamogordo and Otero County concerning pretrial detention reform. Did you guys have time to read the letter?
I already read it.
Is everybody in agreement with it?
Mhm.
Do you want me to, should I read it
That's totally up to you.
so the people at home will know what we're doing, or?
If you want.
Okay. Dear Madam Governor, on July 15, 2023 in Alamogordo, New Mexico, officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop on a vehicle. The vehicle did not stop for officers and attempted to flee. Although they did not pursue the vehicle, officers located it shortly thereafter as it was involved in a crash. A male individual was observed escaping the scene on foot by officers who then pursued the suspect, during which a shooting occurred. As a result of the gunfire, Officer Anthony Ferguson, a 12-year veteran of the Alamogordo Police Department, was injured and succumbed to his injuries the following day. In the weeks subsequent to the death of Officer Ferguson, a review was conducted of the alleged defendant's criminal record. The court determined that the defendant was released on conditions of release subsequent to a prior officer-involved shooting that occurred in Alamogordo on January 29, 2023. The current statutory framework that allowed such a miscarriage of justice must change for the protection of our citizens and our law enforcement. In recent years, various pretrial detention reform bills have been introduced but not passed by the state legislature. We request that your office consider statutory changes similar to HB 27 from 2022 or HB 509 and SB 123 from 2023. In addition, although joint resolutions are not required to be on your proclamation, We would also sincerely appreciate your support of a constitutional amendment similar to HJR 9 from the 2023 legislative session. As a violent crime in our communities has increased, Otero County has made the detention of violent offenders a top priority. We must protect our people and communities from violent crime by enacting robust reforms to ensure alleged violent criminals are not released. We acknowledge the magnitude of this undertaking. The City of Alamogordo and Otero County are prepared to provide any assistance necessary to ensure the safety of our citizens and to demonstrate to law enforcement that we, the state, stand united in support of them. We, the undersigned commissioners of the City of Alamogordo and Otero County, request the Governor's Office take action on the issue of pre-trial detention by supporting statutory changes and constitutional amendments in honor of fallen Officer Anthony Ferguson. Thank you for your consideration of our request and for your willingness to work to protect New Mexico citizens and stand by law enforcement agencies across the state. Everybody agree with that?
Make a motion to sign the letter?
All right. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Do we need to sign this one, or you've got the original? Okay. All right, does anybody have anything else?
No.
Okay, we need 2 copies, because they send one original to Officer Ferguson's family. And then,
Don't go anywhere yet.
Okay, does anybody have anything else, or can we adjourn? Okay, all right, with that, we're adjourned.
We just put their signature on the second. You have a signature page?
Oh, actually, but it has holes. Never mind. Let me go grab one real quick.
Okay.